you're about to find out the real reason behind a real class act. Here's why school lessons last exactly 45 minutes. Oh, class act? You thought it was something else? Hey, time for school. Have you ever wondered why your classes are so long? If you're sitting in class, bored out of your mind, wondering who came up with the idea of making the lesson so long, you're about to find out. Keep watching to discover how class duration was determined and about the intense debate surrounding class timings and sizes, which started centuries ago and is still raging. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications to join us on the bright side of life. And now, a bit of history. The educational system of the country you live in might have been inspired by the Prussian school system. Now you know who is to blame for having to get up so early to head to school. Prussia was a historically important German state. As a country, it legally ceased to exist many years ago. However, if you live in the United States, Germany, Finland, or the UK, you're still affected by the decisions Prussia made in the 19th century. Before they established an educational system, Prussia was having trouble with the people in their workforce. Children's education was left to the individual families. The church also played a role in educating them. What the students learned and didn't learn varied greatly from family to family. A student might have been a math whiz, but not a very good speller, and they might have had no knowledge of literature. When the children became adults and started to work, they couldn't be relied upon to have the education necessary for the job. The country needed a legitimate educational method to help people end up with the same general knowledge. Establishing class length. Now, this varies greatly around the world. It can range from 40 to 60 minutes in middle and high school. When it comes to college, classes can be way longer. How long are your classes? If you spend 45 minutes in each class and arrive home early enough to enjoy the rest of the day, you're probably following the Prussian model. In the beginning, children in Prussia had class in the morning and late into the afternoon. But people didn't like those afternoon classes. Unless you have work or other early obligations, it's nice to get class out of the way in the morning, so you can enjoy the rest of your day with a little time for rest, games, and fun stuff. Back then, critics weren't so concerned about children having time to chill, but they were concerned that digestion seemed to cause an afternoon lull after lunch, preventing children from concentrating. And they were right. Your body's circadian clock is responsible for making you feel lazy after lunch. Have you ever felt that unexplainable sleepiness that seems to land on you out of nowhere in the afternoon? Yes, I see a lot of hands out there. The circadian clock expects you to digest food at certain times, so your energy levels dip between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. It might be easier for an adult to push through this lull, maybe with a little help from caffeine, but it can be quite hard for children to fight off sleepiness. Since children tend to have fewer inhibitions, it's easy for them to simply plop their heads down on their desk and take a nap. In the early 19th century, children in Prussia were subjected to 60-minute lessons, which also came under criticism. Can you imagine it? If you're used to 30-minute classes, a 60-minute class might be torturous at first. Thankfully, experts at the time measured how tired children became after a 60-minute lesson and concluded that students needed to be taught in shorter blocks. So, the 45-minute system was established. It meant that for children to not be in school late into the afternoon, all classes needed to be compressed in the morning. Now you know that waking up early to go to school saves you from being in the middle of a class when the afternoon slump hits. There's a bright side to everything, right? Prussia settled on 45-minute classes that took place mostly in the morning and early afternoon, with about 28 students in each class taught by one teacher. So what happened? Others adopt the same model. In the U.S., the state of Massachusetts was trying to find the best educational approach. Horace Mann, no, not the prep school and School of Rock, but the secretary of the Massachusetts Board of Education at the time, was trying to understand why children were so unruly at school. Mann wanted children to grow up into productive members of society, but those disorderly youngsters were really giving him a headache. The US needed inspiration, so they looked to Prussia to see how they should establish their education system. In the 1840s, Horace Mann traveled to Europe with several other leaders, took out his notebook, and studied the Prussian school model. What they saw left a big impression. They admired the children's obedience, the sense of order in schools, and how efficiently schools were run, finally deciding that the Prussian model was the way to go. They had a big task ahead of them because implementing the Prussian school system meant telling parents that they shouldn't teach their children at home anymore, but send them to school instead. Even with parents and kids going bonkers over the new system, Massachusetts became the first state to provide all citizens with free education. During the next 66 years, all the other states followed its example and taught the Prussian way. So what about technology? Well, there was much debate initially as to whether this educational approach was the best. Psychologists believe that kids needed longer breaks in the school day, and that compressing all the classes into the morning wouldn't be ideal. Teachers were for and against it. In the end, the change stayed, and it was unchallenged for a long time until advances in technology changed the face of education. In 1983, the U.S. government called for education reform in the A Nation at Risk report. The report declared that the educational system was starting to slide. In the same year, there were big breakthroughs technology-wise, one of them being that Microsoft released MS Word. People wanted to see how technology would revolutionize the way schools worked. After all, wouldn't it be weird if you learned the same way children in the 1800s did? Every other field has benefited from new technologies. Most people don't drive around in cars from the 18th century today. When they go to the hospital, they expect 21st century medicine. The conclusion was that schools would start to use computers and new software, but the system itself remains largely unchanged. No, children aren't fully learning in a VR environment yet. Strong debate. There is now a lot of passionate conversation about the ideal class length and size. Some love tiny class sizes where you can hear a pin drop. Others like large groups of people and the energy that brings. In terms of class duration, some critics argue that the 45-minute approach doesn't allow for any flexibility, increases anxiety, and wastes time since children can't stay focused for that long. Others feel that it compresses the material into too short a period. Some people are all for having a longer class period, others want shorter periods. The Prussian system has been adopted as a one-size-fits-all approach, and it has been criticized for this reason. Not everyone learns at the same pace and with the same methodology because we're all different. You might feel that being in class for 45 minutes is necessary for you to learn. But another person might find it unbearable and be counting down the seconds until the bell rings. People with learning disabilities and attention deficits might have difficulty adapting to the 45-minute model. Some people claim that 9-year-old children can concentrate for an hour. However, according to the Washington Post, physiologically, after just 20 minutes of sitting, the brain starts to receive less oxygen and glucose, which decreases concentration. Still, some people swear by the 45-minute approach. The 45-minute class period is definitely better than a 25-minute class when it comes to allowing time for reviewing homework, allowing for students to address questions with teachers, and provide one-on-one time for teacher and students. These things would have to be rushed or impossible to do in just 25 minutes. The 45-minute approach can certainly make a student feel more engaged with class because the teacher is taking their time helping the student. Whether people will ever see eye to eye about education is unclear, but one thing is for sure: the debate will continue, and the educational system is bound to be updated, reimagined, and remade over the years. So tell us, Brightsiders, do you prefer several shorter classes in a day or a few long classes? Let us know in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a like, share it with your friends, and click subscribe to stay on the bright side.